everybody. My name's Damjan Haylor from POPcomms, and we are an interactive design studio based in Bristol. I just want to thank Vincent and Jack and the team for inviting us to talk, and for doing it now and not next month, because when the UK leaves Europe with Brexit, apparently they're going to fill in the tunnel, the airports are shut, so I'll be happy to come in sort of virtually to do that. And HRV is Hrvatska, which is Croatia. Croatian. Hence the weird spelling of the name with the J. So I'm just going to talk to you about how we use Intuiface. We've been, I think, using it for about 5 years now. We first started with a project for the Royal Mint. Had no idea what we were doing, we just found this software and then just started playing with it, and luckily it worked out pretty well for us. So on the whole, we basically work with B2B companies, mainly advanced manufacturing and technology businesses. These are some of the companies that we work with. But actually what we're really about as an agency is what we think is the most important part of sort of the customer journey, and that's in sort of the face-to-face meetings between our customers and their customers, especially in sales and marketing, when they're having those very high-value conversations and they need the tools to help them really sell those ideas and bring the message to life and facilitate those conversations. So I'm just going to tell you sort of a little bit about the challenges our customers have and how that relates to the work that we do. I'm not going to go into all of these. I'm sure a lot of these will be familiar to if there are businesses in here about sort of operating globally, especially in tech and with advanced engineering, very complex messages, very complex products and solutions. And they really struggle to kind of sort of illustrate them. Often engineers who build these companies, they're not very good at describing exactly what it is that they do. But there's one real challenge that companies have. And this is a survey that's run by Series Decisions. I don't know if people know this company. It's a US research and consultancy, and they talk to businesses all over the world. And for 10 years, the same problem always came number one. And that's an inability to clearly demonstrate value. That's the biggest challenge for all of our customers and for their businesses. So you're probably wondering why I'm talking to you about this and why this is important. Well, if we're in the business of helping our customers win business, then we absolutely need to know the challenges that they face day to day, what's going on in the wider world, and how we can really kind of focus in and help them win that business. And as we say, we're all about those conversations and making sure that that value really shines through. So how do we work with these businesses to solve that problem? So I suppose in broad terms, we can kind of break down our work into sort of 3 stages, which is the business or the consultancy part, working out what those challenges are. And I suppose we can say sort of the UX, which is, how will those experiences or tools, how will they be used, how will people navigate through them? And then sort of the fun bit, the design part. So that's, how do you visualize this, the objectives and the user experience, and then bring it all to life. So again, I'll just kind of skip through quickly. We're talking about sort of the business, looking at the objectives. These are sort of some of the questions that one needs to sort of ask. And I think it's also, a lot of companies maybe don't know what their objectives are, especially with sort of interactive experiences. As a guy saying, it's very new to the whole new world experiences. So, often there aren't any rules. We're there to kind of make up the rules and help businesses with it. So it's really important to talk them through, advise them on what can be achieved. Again, most people haven't used these tools, so what can you actually do with them? How can they really help? And it's also about measuring. Because there's no point building all these fantastic things, all this investment, spending all this money, and you have no idea what's happened with it when it's out there. So this is where the team and their analytics really are incredibly important. And anybody in marketing will probably be saying, hallelujah, finally we can track and measure these things. Then once we've sort of got those objectives and we know sort of roughly where we're going with it and what we need to achieve and what does success look like, we then have the UX bit. And this is actually all about the customer. It's knowing who the customer is, how they like to buy, their preferences, what they need to know, what they want to know, the journey that you need to take them on. And also, it's not one customer. A lot of these companies are dealing with multiple sectors, and even within those businesses, there'll potentially be dozens of different customers within that business. So it's understanding all of those touch points and working out exactly how you can personalise that message, personalise that story to the individual. And actually, interactivity is a real key part of that and helping us to do that. And then you've got the design, which I would say is kind of like the icing on the cake, really. Because you've got this huge sort of iceberg of all this work that went on underneath, and the icing, the magic is the design on top. How do you then visualise this journey that you want to take the customer on? How do you really bring it to life and make it engaging and immersive and want people to draw them in so they're engaged and that they're listening? And that's really sort of very key. It's the storytelling part. How do you bring this to life? So I'll just quickly show you a couple of examples of work that we've done for clients. I don't know if anybody knows SCC. They are sort of a giant pan-European technology services business. I think they do about 6 billion euros a year. And their technology underpins most of UK government, European governments. They have data centres all over Europe. They're a massive business that nobody's heard of, but most of what goes on in today's world probably wouldn't happen without that technology underpinning them. So what were the business objectives for them? So as I said, they are a sort of a pan-European. Their infrastructure supports many public and government services. And so for them, when they have high-value customers coming to their headquarters, to their data centres, it's really important, actually, for them, it's about thought leadership. It's about impressing the scale of their business, how important their business is to the everyday people, really, because all their services run government services. So we have to think of a way of how we can really sort of illustrate and bring that scale and that importance to life. And then with sort of the UX part of it, because it's such a broad scope of services, they're talking to so many different customers on so many different levels, how can you create one experience that can talk to all of those different people and get that idea across? So in terms of the design, I mean, just very quickly, we built this sort of the SCC world and city. So it's an illustration of all the different sort of sectors they cover, from marine to airports, to government, to technology, to retail. And these experiences sit on nice big 90-inch touchscreens in their data centres and in their customer experience centre. And people can just navigate the screen. It even comes with sound effects. And you can browse through what's drama to it. So yeah, this kind of gives them an idea that all of their customers and their customers are sitting on top of this giant SCC network. That everything is safe within their hands, and that's kind of the impression that to beat the music. Bosch. Everybody's probably familiar with Bosch. We don't work with the power tools department. We work with the sort of industrial machinery side of the business. I've got Rich guys. It's the power tools. Rich guys at Bosch. Or Rich with Bosch. They sort of operate globally, many different markets, many different sectors. But their challenges is really more around when they do a lot of events, they spend millions of dollars doing events around the world. All of their customers come to their events, they've got all the machines there, but they've also got a huge product portfolio. Lots of different content, videos, everything. So how do you have all of that valuable content at the fingertips of the sales teams and marketing and the customers when they're there? So again, with them, it's also about sort of the user experience. So because of that, how do you make it easy for people to find out what they're interested in? Not every company is buying Bosch machinery for the same reason. So we've got brewing, manufacturing, sweet packaging, all sorts of different areas. So again, it's kind of thinking, how can you talk to all of these different people? And interactivity is such an important bit of that because it allows people to navigate to where they want to get to. What's of interest to them? What part of Bosch are they really interested in? Rather than this kind of, here's a bunch of brochures or here's a linear PowerPoint, which you've got to go through. So it's just making all this much more accessible for them. There's also one other important thing, which I think is often overlooked and people think it's always sort of superfluous when you're building these experiences. Apart from just sort of the business side and all the important stuff and the UX and the journey, making sure the content is in there. But there's one thing that we think is really critical in that, and that's micro interactions. And micro interactions, these are the little sort of animations and things that go on, the little sort of visual enhancements. Now, it might seem superfluous to you, most people don't really notice them, but actually they're so important in interactives. Oh, hello. 7 minutes. Now, why are they important? Because actually, subconsciously you pick them up, and it's all this sort of risk and reward thing. So when you touch something, the brain likes it when something happens in response. But more important, it keeps the mind engaged, because people wander very quickly. We all know this thing about 3 seconds attention span. But these micro interactions actually kick the brain out of doing that. So when we're building experiences, it's really important to think about these little things because they also help the user navigate, and it just keeps it interesting, it keeps it immersive. You want to play because it's fun. At the end of the day, there's important messages in here, but it doesn't have to be boring. It really can be interesting and fun. You want people to play and explore and walk away thinking, yeah, okay, that was interesting, I enjoyed that. So I'm sure the guys will be waiting for this bit. How does Intuiface help us with that? Well, I think there's probably one word, actually. Agile. It's probably overused, everybody knows it, but I think it's so important for us, and it's really important for our customers as well, that we are agile, that they are agile with their customers as well. And why do we say that? And what does Intuiface help us do? Well, I think one of the most important things for us is sort of around workflow and around sort of prototyping and concepts. As sort of Jeff mentioned, traditionally to build interactive experiences, there's a lot of work, especially in sort of the coding, the development side. Customers would have to sign off on artwork and ideas well before you got to that stage. With Intuiface, we can create experiences in hours. We can prototype ideas in hours. It's brilliant for us because if we're pitching for work, we can actually get our ideas in front of a customer very quickly. This is a prototype we developed for one customer around interactive wayfinding. And actually what we've discovered for some of our customers is that they use these prototypes when they're trying to win business as well. Because it's so quick, they can use us to come up with ideas when they're selling these into their customers. So Intuiface has completely changed the way that we can pitch and go after business and be far more responsive and proactive. If they need to make a change or something, there isn't 2 days of going back to the developers and then going to grumble that it's all got to be done. We can do it instantly. And our designers can do it, because all of our designers work with Intuiface. Cost and resource, well, I think that's obvious. We can cut out a lot of that development time. So again, we're not using valuable developers on pitches or on prototypes or coming up with ideas. So we can quickly try out ideas around some storytelling and UX and see if it flows. If it does, great, move on, move fast. And it's also easy for clients to manage on site with players. You know, in the past, often we had to set up sort of servers or use sort of REST web apps and all sorts of funky technology. It was always a nightmare. Now we just send them the player, loads, they download it, end of story. No more panic calls. It's just been brilliant and it's a real lifesaver. It's easy for the customer, and you know, it just makes them feel comfortable as well, especially around technology. Everybody's nervous with events, or if you've got a high value pitch, they don't want to be worrying about whether the technology is going to work. And then, you know, as I mentioned, just, you know, creative and adaptable. It's very quick. Our designers can prototype ideas. You can do anything you can really imagine in Intuiface. It's completely flexible. And I think one other thing is adaptable is very important, especially with customers. You know, with Bosch, when we do these fantastic events, they've got these lovely touch screens with their customers, but then sales have to go on the road, they go in the field. They don't then want to go back to, you know, crappy PowerPoints and things like that. They want to have the same experience they've got at the shows on their laptop or on their iPad, and Intuiface allows us to do that. And it's got the analytics, so they can see what people are looking at, they can see what people are interested in. It makes a huge difference to be able to transcend all those different customer touch points. And that's a really important and very valuable aspect, particularly for our customers. So I think that almost sort of to wrap up, I mean, as you sort of probably heard me here later, you know, there's an infinite number of ways of creating engaging experiences. And I think, like Vincent alluded to, you know, we are now clearly in an experience economy. Customers, our customers, their customers, they just don't want boring products. They want to have experiences. And it's here to stay. So I think whether you build the experiences or you're thinking of one for your business, you know, it's no longer a matter of is this a nice to have. I think actually it's a key part of your business strategy. And understanding that and how that can work within your business with your customers is really crucial. So before I disappear, I've got 1 minute and 54 seconds. I don't know if anybody's got any questions. I'm sure there'll be plenty of time afterwards. But I'd be happy to take some on the microphone. Or we could all get to our coffees much quicker.
One question. Is there also functionality how, for instance, you can have a map at a trade show, for instance, and make the connection that someone searches for a solution at a trade show, and then triggers, for instance, I would like to talk to an expert, and maybe you have a connection by phone or in a different way to the sales guys on the booth, that they get a trigger, hey, I need to go to info point 1, where someone would like to find out more about our solutions. Is such a trigger possible between an Intuiface presentation and, for instance, a mobile phone or a different way?
Well, I'm going to steal that idea because it's a great idea. Bear that one. We'll sort it out on Monday. That's probably a question for Seb, actually, because I have to admit, I am not an Intuiface user. I just get other people to do the hard work, and I just talk fluffy and show them lovely experiences. Well, that's possible. Oh, is that possible? Quick answer? Yes. Yes or no, then we can tell afterwards.
Yes.
That's a lovely answer. 34 seconds.
What's the biggest challenge you have to face?
With Intuiface?
Yeah.
Oh, Stuart? Yeah, I think probably for us is sort of around the content side, especially around content management and stuff like that. you know, with some of these clients, you know, they've got a huge amount of content. So, you know, trying to manage that and coming up with a CMS that kind of integrates with Intuiface that's, you know, easy for them to use, especially with sort of global events. You know, we're based in the UK, we do a lot of work in the US and Europe. So, yeah, that it does take, you know, it's not a straight out of the box, it's going to solve all your problems. It does take a little bit of figuring out, but it can certainly do it, and we do use it globally in that respect.